A hearty welcome to one and all present here. Welcome to Meet the Author session held by the Library of Kendriya Vidyalaya Pattom in association with the Readers Club. Every secret of a writer's soul, every experience of his life, every quality of his mind is written large in his works. This is Aditya Krishnan, a normal teenager just like all of us. But what makes him special is his amazing ability to translate his experiences into beautiful lines. His debut work, A Birthday Dream, captures the essence of school life and the thrills of high-spirited football matches. Before we move on to the program, I request everybody to keep their mics muted so that the program may go on without any interruptions. To formally inaugurate the function, I invite our Vice Principal Sir, Sri Amit Gupta, for the welcome address, sir, please.
Thank you, dear student. And today's, I can say, chief guest of a day, of a evening, Aditya Krishnan. Dear students, respected Thomas sir, and mentor of Readers Club, Faisal sir. A very good evening to all. I am very much delighted to extend heartiest welcome to our hero, Aditya Krishnan. At a time, as the student told, when others they just think of other activities, Aditya Krishnan has very well planned and very well organized the experiences in the form of a book. So really, Aditya, it is a very, very good achievement, and I wish that in the coming time you may reach to maximum heights and you may bring name and fame not to the parents but also to the institution of KV Pattom. So on the behalf of Principal Kendriya Vidyalaya Pattom, in his absentia, I welcome Aditya Krishnan and all the students present over here, and I do hope this interactive session will bring some positive energy among the students, and they will also write something on their diaries or on their notebooks. So once again, welcome Aditya Krishnan and all the students. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, to know more about the author, I invite Badra.
Good evening, respected Principal Sri Ajay Kumar Sir, Vice Principal Sri Amit Gupta Sir, HM Srimati Shaila Ma'am, Sri Faisal Sir, teachers and my dear friends. Many students have made our school proud through different achievements. Till now and still the practice is going on. Today we are present here virtually to share the experience of one such student who have made our school proud. It's a great pleasure to introduce Master Aditya Krishnan of class 10th of our Vidyalaya. He is the author of the book A Birthday Dream, published by Current Books in the last month. So here we have Master Aditya Krishnan to share his thought about his book and also to share experience he had throughout the journey of writing a book.
Thank you, Badra. Now let's head on to the moment we have all been waiting for. Before that, a notice to all the participants. There will be an interactive session after Aditya has shared his experience. You may ask all your queries and doubts then. So I invite Aditya to share his thoughts. Aditya, the stage is all yours.
Respected Principal Sir, Vice Principal Sir, Faisal Sir, dear teachers, and my beloved friends. I am really grateful to my beloved school and Faisal Sir for giving me an opportunity to talk about my book. A Birthday Dream is my book which I started writing back in 2018. It is made. If you ask me how I wrote it, I should say it quite happened on its own. I'm sure it is mainly based on the life experiences of Akash Das, who is the hero. He has a family life, a school life, and his ambition in life is to win the inter-school football championship, which is a competition based on football held between different schools of Trivandrum. I'm sure the books I read, like Harry Potter, Roald Dahl, Sudha Murthy, etc., all had to do with something to my writing. So, if you ask me exactly how I got into the field of writing, I should say that back in nursery, when I was just a child, uh, there was this monthly magazine called Magic Pot, which came to my house monthly. It was a magazine filled with poems, short stories, paintings, and much more by just kids. And then there was this big book. There's this thick book called Big Book, which was a gift from my grandfather. It was actually an encyclopedia. I loved that book. I used to read it every day. I used to just lie on my sofa or bed and just read that all day. And then there was my first brush with writing, which was I think it was in second or third grade. My first short story was called The Great Race. It was a folk tale based on animals in which a tiger and many other animals is participating in a race, and then eventually the tiger gives up the trophy to help one of the other animals from winning the race. So that was back in second or third grade, and it got published in the Hindu Young World. Then my brush with writing came when in sixth grade, when uh, there was this Hindu organized the story completion contest, which was basically you are given a story, beginning of a story, and you have to complete it. So the story I got was based on two kids, Juno and Ira, who the age is not given. They were trapped in a forest, and they had to complete the rest of the story. So I completed it, saying that there was some ghosts in the forest or something, I think. And then it was around this time that I got introduced to the fantasy world of Roald Dahl, Harry Potter, Dare Pickett, which have been my constant companions till this day. And it was around this time that I figured out that I could write. So I have this very particular habit that I wander around my house quite randomly. I just walk around thinking about dumb things, and then I found out that when I do this, just random pops of conversation or dialogues, or it was like being having a book read out to me in my mind. So random pops of conversation would just come to me, and then I figured out that if I wrote this down, I could develop that into a short story. And so I started writing. I started writing a birthday dream, and back at that time, I had no intention of turning this into an actual novel. It was I just wanted to write it for the sake of writing. So when I started writing, I had this foreign aspect in mind. The A Birthday Dream was set in America. The main characters were Henry and Max instead of Akash and Arun and Arjun. So I eventually gave up on the America idea because I found out that you know. It was not practical to have something you are not familiar with. So I eventually reverted back to the Malayali style. And eventually, it was around that time that the FIFA World Cup 2018 started, and many of my match instances from my book have been heavily inspired by that World Cup. I remember that the World Cup still now. Yeah, I used to stay up late till 11:30 or 12 to watch matches. And it was around this time also that Sri Shaiju Damodaran sir, his commentary has inspired me very, very much. I also read Srimati Karunisa Madam's book, Butterfingers. She also came to my book list. She also mainly writes about school teams, school life, but with football or cricket as the main team, like generally sports. So my book was so there was a point in my life where I stopped writing for like 6 to 7 months, and I would just stop writing because I was bored with it. And so I picked it back up. Then my book was nearly finished, so I picked it back up later. And so it was during the 2020 lockdown that my mother got interested into my book, and she started typing it, and it eventually developed into a fully blown book. So one last thing, I would like to thank Sri Surya Krishnamurthy sir, who is the owner of Theatre Ganesham, for giving me moral support and for making my dream into a reality. So my book is available on Amazon and Modern Bookseller. I hope all of you will read it and give me your opinions. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. I'm sure your story has inspired all of us. It also emphasizes our belief that indeed dreams can come true. Now, let's move on to the interactive session. The participants may ask all your queries to the author, and the stage is open to all.
Can I?
Sure.
Who supported you the most during the journey, during this journey?
The book, my it was my mother. My mom supported me wholeheartedly during my entire journey. She always supported me when things didn't, whenever she did not like something or something needed to be changed. She was the one who edited and typed the whole thing. At some point, I think she was unable to read my handwriting, and we would give it outside for typing. But mainly, she typed the whole thing and she edited the whole thing.
So, Aditya, you just watch the football or also play the football?
No, sir, I don't. I don't actually like playing football.
You don't play football?
No, sir, I don't actually play football. Because in my school matches, I don't usually play. I usually just stay as defender and I play something like with my friends. I don't actually play football.
So only virtually you have written all the things?
No, sir, mainly
virtual experience and virtual imagination, you have written all the things.
Yes, sir, mainly.
Do you have any experience, or you can correlate any of the experience with your book?
Yes, sir, mainly my football matches are inspired by Ronaldo or Messi moments. I used to search on YouTube, right, top 10 moments of World Cups and things like that. So I could get inspired by those moments, and then I could depict them in my book accurately.
Yeah.
Aditya, I'm curious to know who your favorite author is.
I don't actually have a favorite author. My favorite authors are J.K. Rowling, Roald Dahl, Sudha Murthy, and Ruskin Bond, people like that. Mainly people who write fiction books.
So, Aditya, it's our request that can you read some of your favorite parts from the book?
Sure, sir. So I'm reading the first chapter, certain parts of the first chapter. It's where the book begins. Let me start this book with a simple explanation. If you are one of these whiny little babies who can't stand seeing kids write stories of their own life, it's time to leave. This is literally your free chance to shut this book and walk away. For those of you still staying, I'll give a quick introduction about myself. My name is Akash Haridas. I am 12 years old and a student of Clancy Brilliance Academy, CBA, also known as C Academy. You might be wondering if I was brilliant enough to study at Clancy Brilliance Academy. I'll answer that question straight away. No. The only reason I had to study at the place because of a stupid handbrake, stupid car, which stupidly blew up due to a stupid handbrake. My dad was a taxi driver. Yes, was a taxi driver. He used to leave whenever he got a call or at 7 in the morning. But that was a few months ago. He was returning home from a drive and stopped at a 24/7 grocery store to buy bread. The store was built on a steep hill, and at 4 in the morning, there were no other customers. He was arguing with the person on the counter about a coupon when he heard a loud explosion from the bottom of the hill. He rushed out of the store only to find the car missing. He ran down the hill at a pace which could have challenged Usain Bolt and found something burning and around which many people had already crowded. Of course, it was the car. Precisely 3 hours later, my dad was sitting at the police station trying to answer a hefty-looking policeman's questions about braking and parking. Apparently, a nut had gone loose and the handbrake had become faulty. Personally, I didn't think it was my dad's fault. There was no way he could have figured out that something was wrong if he hadn't parked on that hill. The car incident put paid to dad's job and he found a job as a delivery guy for a very big company. As it was situated close to C Academy, I got admitted there. My mom, whose name is Sonia Haridas, works in some sort of fancy office. Our brother was born in my family 6 months ago. He's named Aniruddha. I'll go into details about him later. As both dad's office and my school were situated close, my parents decided to look for an apartment close to both. I and mom were still in our old home. Mom was on a phone with the boss on the subject of our transfer. Meanwhile, I was counting down the days till my birthday. Now, I was delighted to note that there was only one night left. Dad had also told me that if he couldn't attend the birthday party, owing to his new responsibilities, he'd video call mom and make her hold the tablet at the table. Crash! A lightning bolt struck the pavement outside our apartment. It must have been the fourth one since morning. Rain had been hitting our windows since 6 a.m. It was getting stronger and stronger and seemed to have no idea of slowing down. But I knew that nothing could be more annoying than windy rain on my birthday. Bang! A book flew from my hands and hit the wall as I leapt up from bed. Last night, I was reading a book and I was trying to grasp the meaning of a complex chapter when the word megalahydrothalassophobia put me to sleep. Akash! Sorry, Mom. Mom burst into the bedroom holding a pan and then immediately began her infamous "What the heck are you doing" tirade. I immediately burst into explanation. It wasn't my fault, Mom. You see, the book was in your hand when you left, so it left with you. Mom finished with an exasperated expression on her face. And never is your fault, is it? How's Aniruddha doing? I said, in a desperate attempt to change the subject. Very fine for your information. Mom snapped and went out of the room after saying, Your dad managed to get an apartment. He'll be moving in this afternoon. So pack anything you want in your backpack and be ready to go after lunch. But what about my birthday? I asked, my heart slowly sinking. We'll be celebrating it later. Mom sat from the kitchen, talking as if she'd only remembered it then. It took some time for the fact to sink in that all the fun would be delayed. But on the contrary, my friends at the Clancy Brilliance Academy would be able to come, and the spirits rose on realizing that my dad would be present there. 60 minutes later, me, Mom, and Aniruddha all alighted at the bus stop and were now waiting for Dad to come pick us up. But it would have been much better to take a cab or even better, walk, because with all the rain, all the roads were flooded and traffic was moving super slow. To make matters worse, Dad arrived half an hour past the time he was supposed to come. I'm pretty sure Mom didn't know Dad perfectly before she married him, because there are some things my dad is hopeless about. Being accurate about time, coming to a place on time, remembering something important on time, and last but not least, taking out the trash and a bunch of other chores. Conclusion. Believe me, you do not want to entrust Dad with something really important. Dad seemed to be talking quite a lot about his new job. You know, I had to deliver a giant refrigerator to some foreign guy a few kilometers away. The time wasted, the accent. I couldn't understand a word and I had to search up Google before I answered. Then he turned to me. And Akash, your friend Arjun called me, asking when and where your birthday is going to be. Dad, I began. Where is my birthday going to be celebrated? In this apartment? Dad waited for a few seconds before responding. We are going to have a party at your grandmother's house. It's a lot bigger for you to play, and I've asked your friends to meet us there. I could barely hold my excitement. I burst out. The summer house? You mean the one we went to last summer? But that was awesome. Saying a lot bigger is probably an underestimation, Dad. That place is massive. You could probably fit our school's assembly hall into that thing. And the best thing is, during the whole father-son conversation, my mom had been silent. But now she decided to step in. Honey, she said in a slightly raised voice, interrupting me. I know you are very excited and jubilant to have a party there. But her voice rose even higher, probably because I showed every sign of interrupting. There is no reason to have a food fight or something there. There are several antique and fragile items in that house. They'll have taken care of that if they knew I was coming, I muttered. So if anything happens there, no TV for a week. She finished with a tone that indicated finality. That would be just great, my dad said from the driving seat, raising his hand in mock celebration. Great indeed. Mom still had a stern look on her face, so I decided to change the subject. Dad, I asked, prodding him on the shoulder. When Arjun called, did he mention anything about the Inter-School Football Championship? The Inter-School Football Championship meant a competition between the schools in Trivandrum, i.e. that is, the Kendriya Vidyalaya, the Alpha International Education Center, the Trivandrum International Academy, the Trivandrum Vigyan Bhavan, and last but not least, the Clancy Brilliance Academy. These schools faced off in a championship which happened every year. When I was in 7th grade, last year, me and a few kids nearly made it into the team. We could dribble better than the others, shoot better than the others, and Arun Joshi, I'll go into detail about him later, even managed to save a particularly difficult shot a PT teacher placed at him. But we didn't make the cut because according to a PT teacher, we were too junior to play the match. That remark caused quite a lot of unrest among the 7th grade. Anyway, our last year's team, comprising completely of seniors, was absolutely hopeless. The other teams scored at least thrice in a game, but our most humiliating defeat was against the Kendriya Vidyalaya, also known as the C's. Final score was 10-2, and it didn't help when a defender passed the ball to a goalkeeper who missed the kick and tripped over, which drew several groans from the Kanzi supporters in the crowd. The ball kept moving and had made it into the goal post by the time the goalkeeper had managed to get up. I mean, it was obvious that our school required a better team, but I don't think anybody would have thought that the requirement was that bad. We checked into apartment Violets another 10 minutes later. Dad talked to the guy at the reception and he sent someone else to show us our apartment. We took the lift and Dad opened the door to 15C. The first thing I could say was that it looked insanely like our previous apartment. Dad had already unloaded most of our stuff. The only difference was that Aniruddha's cradle was in the living room and that meant I couldn't watch TV when Aniruddha was sleeping. Other than that, it was okay. It contained 2 bedrooms with attached bathrooms, a dining area, a kitchen and a living room. I ran into my room, eager to check that my precious computer was alright and knocked away in the process. Dad lunged like a goalkeeper trying to save a penalty shot and managed to catch it. Akash! He shouted and immediately regretted it, for he dropped the vase in frustration and it promptly shattered. He looked around awkwardly for a few moments at Mom, who had a fierce expression plastered on her face. He continued, well. He stumbled with words for a few moments and then managed to regain his composure. It's hardly been 2 minutes since you've stepped into this apartment and you've already made trouble. That was a very valuable vase, he exclaimed, to my surprise. At this moment, he turned cautiously towards Mom and then turned towards me. I am incapable of not causing trouble, he finished. But you are the one who dropped it, Dad, I said, with a huge grin on my face. But I don't blame you, I continued. That was a genius catch. Knew I would have been proud. I stopped for a few moments to let it sink in. You could play for Milan or Juventus. I finished with more praise, which would calm down Dad in any situation. That vase was an antique, Dad said, turning away to hide his smile. He caught sight of Mom's expression and muttered something about the bill and made a hasty exit. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a great excerpt, Aditya. Now I would like to invite Sri V.P. Thomas sir to address the function.
Good afternoon to all of you. Now it is very proud moment for me also, being a class teacher of a student who wrote a book and published, that is mainly. And these things that is, if we are considering as a student, we are thinking that we are not able to do anything. We are just not doing anything, that only I can say. But if you are thinking of your talents and all those things, everybody is having different types of talents. Only thing what we have to do is, we have to nurture that talent and we have to streamline into some way or another to get it published or get it some that is public information or something like that. We have to get the same thing in the knowledge of the others. But simply if you are writing something and if you are keeping it in ourselves, we also know Aditya Krishnan also in this beginning in the class, in the 9th class only, he came to my class. At that time I was not knowing all these things about that. This recently only he told all these things, then only I came to know that. That is, he is having that talent and he had done several things. That is, but it is not one day's work. He was doing all these things from 2-3 years too, for getting a concrete shape of that book. Okay, well, that's a natural thing. That's parents support and all other things are there. That is there. But you see, if we are having that efficient leader, that is Faisal sir in our group, therefore you will be getting all type of information or all type of guidelines, so that you can just come up with your own views and you can express your views. And different these platforms are there. The many platform it is open for you by this Faisal sir. Therefore you can just come to any one of the platform and you can just come up with your talents. Okay, anyway, all of you do like that and come to this. You have to make our this KVS, that is glory to all world, and come up with that like that. And with this inspiration of Aditya Krishnan, I thank Aditya Krishnan also. I congratulate also for him and do better works in later stages. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Thomas sir. The stage is open to questions and queries. If there are any, you may ask the author. It's open to all.
Yes, I am having one question. And is there any relation with this academy and our school? How you conceived this?
No, sir. I don't think. No, sir. I don't think there are any connections. There are certain connections between teachers. There are some teachers have been inspired by like Rajan sir, but no. Mainly there's not much connection between KB and CBA.
Achha, okay. So you have taken the names of particularly you are mentioning Trivandrum itself.
Yes,
Name
sir.
itself is given there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, any questions?
Yes, sir. Can I ask?
Yes.
Yes, so you have started writing this book from like 2018, right? So you weren't able to like add a lot of aspects of the current situation, but that is a good thing because we were again able to revamp what the life was before COVID and Omicron. So are you planning on writing a sequel with the current state, like the pandemic situation that happens with that book? Just willing to know.
I've actually written three short stories over the past 6 months. One is, I think, is based on is Lockdown Diaries, which is based on my lockdown experience. And then there's another murder mystery. Then there's one about a funny trip, which is called my this idea of disaster management. I'm actually writing a new book, which is also based on football, and it's based on a district championship rather than inter-school championship. And it also has a musical. You'll get. It also has a musical genre to it, and not just football.
Okay. So, how much you have inspired by Khairunism? Any connection? Just like she is also writing on the sports topic.
It's mainly my writing has been inspired by Karunisha Madam only. She also described in the email to me that there were similarity between her book and mine, like the clumsy hero, the things like that. So to some extent, my writing has been inspired by Karunisha Madam only.
Great.
Aditya, during the writing process, how did you juggle with the editing part and all the technical part when you write the book and your academics and stuff?
I have a set system for writing books. I write 1 page a day. That is my tactic. I write 1 page a day for as long as it takes me to complete the book. So it doesn't really affect my academic career.
So, how much
Have
time
you
you took?
experienced any writer's block?
I took around 1.5 years.
So, Varsha, your question?
No, I wanted to see whether Aditya had experienced any writer's blocks and how did he tackle them.
No, I don't think I've actually experienced any writer's blocks. They may come in a later time where I experience that, but not yet.
So how do you manage your time, academics and this passion of writing?
Sir, I told you, I don't. Hello? Sir, I mainly just write 1 page a day. That is my target. I just base it on 1 page a day, so it doesn't really affect my academic career or my studies.
No, writing a single page will not affect, but thinking for that 1 page itself is I think lot many time it requires.
Not that much time, sir. Not that much time, sir. I mean, hello?
So how these thoughts come to your mind? Means what is your thought process?
I don't really know that, sir. I don't really know that.
Don't know. It comes as it is. So, I think it's a natural process that it comes as it is in your mind.
Yes, sir.
So, you said about publishing and Hindu, that's Young World and other things. Okay. So, can you suggest your friends, okay, those who are interested in publishing, I mean, in writing and publishing? Okay, anything, just like how it can be published, how they can go for with.
Okay, sir.
How it was, your publishing, you are published in the Hindu Young World, no?
Yes, sir. Sir, I didn't get your question, sir.
Now, I am asking you if you have any suggestion for your friends, okay, those who are interested in writing and publishing, okay, any advice or any suggestion, any comments? Because now
Just keep reading, sir. The best way to encourage your inner writer is to just keep reading.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing. You have to keep reading. Yeah. So any other questions?
Aditya,
May
can
I
you?
ask?
Yes.
Apart from writing, do you have any other hobbies?
I just mainly watch YouTube these days. That's basically the only thing I do these days actually.
Aditya, can you tell me about your journey in finding out a publisher? How did you associate with current books? I think that would
Ma'am,
be benefiting many young writers.
Ma'am, actually, current books was suggested to us by Sri Surya Krishnamurthy sir. He was the person who actually guided me in the publishing process. He called them and told them that see, he has written such a book and you can actually help him. And so it actually helped me, sir, ma'am.
Oh, great.
So you are thinking about a sequel.
What, sir?
Are you thinking about a sequel for this book?
Yes, sir. Definitely a sequel plan. I'm actually writing it right now.
Great. So what are the feedback you are getting from your readers?
Everyone is saying it's a good book, sir. Mainly the kids love it. The kids like my mom's colleagues, daughters and sons love it, sir.
Okay. So what about the selling part also? How many copies you could?
I haven't looked at that,
Not
sir.
aware about that one. Okay, great. Is there any digital copy just like those who couldn't purchase it, if they can read it?
You can get it on Amazon, sir. You can get it on Amazon.
Digital copies are also available there.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Aditya, could you please tell me on what personal change has brought in your life since you have published this book? You got any benefit in your, gaining confidence in writing or your speaking skills or whatever? What personal experience do you have gained?
Yes, ma'am. It has definitely encouraged my inner writing potential, and I think it also helped me in my public speaking phase because recently I had to talk at my book release and right now, so it has definitely helped me in my public speaking phase. It has also helped me meet other people and deal with them.
Yes.
So you could break the shell.
Yeah.
What, ma'am?
So you could actually break the shell.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
Yes.
good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Because I know Aditya, I've been the class teacher since class 7 and 8, and I knew he was he just started the writing part of his book. At that time also, he was like, yeah, ma'am, I've just started, but I don't know how to take that long. And he was not much confident in, coming for public speaking or, whenever he's assigned to do something related to even the class assembly, will be like, Aditya, you just write. Huh? So I feel so happy to see that he has broken the shell and has come out. And best wishes, Aditya. Let you fly high. And explore more things and be a good writer and achieve heights.
Thank you, ma'am.
God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other teachers inspired from our school?
Rajan sir has particularly helped me. He has been a very good teacher. He's been a very good teacher, and I have been particularly inspired by Rajan sir.
Thank you.
Have you taken any experience from your school for this book? Any incidents or any moments?
So my friends Akul and Aryan have particularly portrayed the role of Arjun and Arun in real life.
Oh, great. They will be very happy to know that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So,
Can I ask one?
yes, go them. Please ask.
What is your ambition? What is your dream to be?
My ambition is currently it's a full-time writer, but that might not be possible because it takes quite a time to get a clutch in today's world. So currently I'm focusing on my academic career, and I hope to become a full-time writer later on.
Okay.
Is the ebook version of this book available?
No, it's not available.
Okay, thank you.
I think it will be available means by Amazon in the near future. Okay, because normally they are publishing digital copies.
It is available on Amazon. Not digital copy, it is available on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon it's there. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you said
It is also available in modern book center, sir.
Yeah, modern booksellers. So you said about reading, the power of reading. Okay, can you suggest some books for your friends?
Sir. I would recommend Sudha Murthy, Roald Dahl. Sudha Murthy is a very good writer. She writes very good about Indian culture.
Okay. Sudha Murthy and Roald Dahl.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask?
Yes, please.
So if you're going to write like future books when you're becoming like a full-time writer, or just if you're continuing this passion, will you be continuing the same theme like fiction, school-based, or like here this situation phase, or will you be trying to pursue other topics like fantasy and all?
I'm currently focusing on football for now, but I hope to reach out to other platforms, other genres soon.
So any other question? Yeah.
So can I ask?
Yes, please.
When did you first realize that you want to be a writer?
When I got the book published, it was around that time that I really decided that I wanted to be a writer.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, can I?
Yes, please.
Can you say some tips to make a story attractive?
So my advice to make a story really attractive is to base it on something you actually know about. Now, not just basing it on something you don't know about. Just base it on something you actually have experience about and know about. That would be much better.
Okay.
Any other question?
Is there any book that you read and after reading that you decided that you wanted to become an author?
No, I don't know. There are not many books like that.
So what about yeah, please.
Will you be doing books which have like drawings or cartoon type, or just full-fledged novels?
I am actually basically Sri Surya Krishnamurthy sir is a person who actually suggested to me to involve cartoons and pictures in imagery in your books because it would be a lot attractive to the younger generation. So I'm planning on including more cartoons in my books from now on.
Yeah, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So it will be better. It will be good to see your drawing skills too.
I think Aditya likes cartoons also.
Yes, sir. I actually read Calvin and Hobbes.
Okay. Any more questions?
Any comics books will be published soon?
No. I'm not planning any comic books actually.
Sir, my question is to Sir Faisal sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can be the book released by Aditya can be added to the Epic library?
Yes, sir.
But
Sir,
no, it is actually
that will be easy to read then.
Yeah, Epic Epic is actually it's a platform by some American publishers, American companies. Okay, so now it's not possible, but anyway, we can suggest that there is a book that can be included in their collection. Okay, I will try for that. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
So can I ask one to Faisal sir?
Yes.
Sir, if you're like publishing a book like completely like a freelancer, you're publishing it, you're making the copies at home. So is there any like governmental difficulties that you can go through if not doing by an official publisher or government publisher by doing it completely in private?
No, you can publish it. The personal way you can publish it, no limitation. Nothing. But you have to take the registration and other things, etc. For example, if you are a registered publisher, okay, so there is a process that you get the registration also. Okay, so after that you can publish yourself, no issue. You can publish as much copies you want and you can sell it out. That's a simple way if you have enough money for that purpose. Okay. Otherwise, you can opt for many other options which are now self-publishing is also there through Amazon and many other platforms are there. Even Ebook is also providing self-publishing platform, but you have to sell out, means give some amount of some percentage of the expense. Okay, so that is the way. In some free
I think that is one of the main reasons for people opting for ebooks. Like there is no publication cost, but they are just sending the PDF files.
Definitely.
I think that's the like advantage.
Yeah, and free platforms are also available. You can open source platforms are available where you can freely publish your book without any cost in effect. You can design your book, you can put it there, and it will be taken by the readers and they will read it. Okay, but you are not going to get any money, but you will get fame and name. Okay, and your things will be read out by the readers around the globe. That's the quality of digital platforms. Okay, which spread out. So you can think about many options which are available, and this one that is our Aditya has taken this way through an official, the formal publication way. Okay, other informal publication channels are also available. You can think about that. So try it out and write whatever you want and try to publish. Nowadays, I think many other platforms, just like blogs, websites, you can create your own blogs and other things where you can publish it. Even on Facebook or Twitter also you can publish. And people nowadays, they are publishing their novel in episodes on Twitter also. Okay, that is a way, that's the different ways, they are innovative ways they are adopting. So you can think about many ways which are there. Okay, so there is no limit for your imagination and these opportunities. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? Varsha?
Aditya, which one do you prefer? Physical books or ebooks or audiobooks?
I prefer physical book.
Why?
May I ask why?
It just gives the feel of reading, not just you. I just can't get the same out of a digital, a computer or a screen.
But nowadays everything is online and getting your textbooks and everything is online now. So how you feel? Just like you have to go through, yeah.
No, sir. I didn't actually use any digital resources. I just used the study material. I actually have not used any of the digital textbooks.
Great. Okay. So anyway, I think this pandemic has given you a lot of time to think about your book and publishing.
Yes, sir.
So you are taking this as a positive opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes,
yeah. So this is the way people are using this time. Okay. So the participants, the students over here, they can think about the ways how you can fruitfully utilize your time. Okay. This is one of the greatest example that you can have. A successful writer before you from your school. Okay. And there are books coming. Okay. Yes. A great inspiration for others. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Any more questions? Any more questions from students or teachers?
Is there something that surprised you or made you realize something that you had not realized before when writing this book?
No, I don't think there are any experiences like that. Not for me at least.
Do you think about a film version of this book? Just like
No, sir, not sir. No, I have not thought about like that.
if somebody is asking for that, then what will be your answer?
I'm not sure, sir. I'm not sure about that, sir.
Achha, okay. Yes. Any more questions?
How did you
If you were
choose
to
the
film,
title?
you would like
Yes.
What?
Akul? Yeah. Please go with your question.
if you're like going into like a feature, like not just like full-fledged movie, like 2-hour movie, that's gonna be exhausting. Like a short film based on your book, will you be willing to do that?
I'm not very sure about the films, to be honest with you.
Okay.
How did you feel like when you were selecting the title for this book?
My grandfather suggested the title to me. He was suggested me because the birthday in Akash's birthday dream just remains a dream. So he thought it would be a good title for the book, and we used it actually.
Okay.
If you hadn't chosen the theme as football, what other theme would you prefer?
School life, definitely school life and things like that. School, I would definitely based on school life.
Thank you.
So what do you think about the non-fiction part? Just like you're dealing with fiction anyway, but in future, will you think about writing some non-fiction also, just like articles or something?
I've definitely thought about it, but I don't have any experiences to share, so not yet.
Okay.
Can you tell how many characters are there in your book?
There are definitely few friend circle of Agash, Arjun, Arun, Joel, definitely people like that. So definitely I'll say around 25 to 30 or so like that.
While taking short films, characters are enough. From our school itself.
So people are thinking about making a short film based on your story.
Are you thinking about writing a book from the small age when you're first standard?
No, not now yet. Not now. No.
Do you think there is a difference between when you write for children and when you write for adult? Just like you have written this book.
Yes, sir. There is definitely a difference between writing for children and because when you're writing for the younger generation, you definitely need humor for it. For when you're writing for adults, you don't need humor.
Don't need humor for adults.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I hope that we will get an opportunity with you physically in our library to have a meet the other session there itself. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
So any more questions? Yes. Shaila ma'am is there? Varsha?
Shaila ma'am is not present, sir.
Yeah, okay. Then you can move on.
With that, we come to the end of the interactive session. May I have Chaitanya for the vote of thanks?
A very good evening to one and all present here. So we have reached the end of this beautiful function. Today, I take the opportunity to put my gratitude into words. First of all, would like to thank Almighty God for making today's function a great success. On behalf of all the students, I would like to extend my happiest thanks to Master Aditya Krishnan for his presence in the function. Thank you, Aditya, for enlightening us with your inspiring and motivating words. We hope that one day you will become a well-known writer and make our school and society feel proud of you. Next, on behalf of all the students, express my gratitude to Principal Sri Ajay Kumar sir and Vice Principal Sri Amit Gupta sir for their guidance and motivations, which led us to touch these remarkable achievements. I also thank all the teachers and my friends whose presence and participation made this event up to the mark. At last, once again, a warm thanks to all the people in this meeting for making this event a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chaitanya. It is not true that we have only one life to live. If we can read, we can live as many lives and as many kinds of lives as we wish. Words are indeed the most inexhaustible source of magic, which adds joy and purpose to our lives. As much as it is important to read, children should be encouraged to pen down their thoughts too. I'm sure Aditya's journey has inspired and opened the doors to reading and writing for all of us. Wishing the budding author the best for future endeavors. Thank you.